everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe if you want to. You don't have to. I always say that because like you really don't. Like I have some people on YouTube that I just watch their videos and don't click that subscribe button for some reason. I have no idea why. It would be really cool if you did though. It's completely free if you didn't know. It's not like a subscription like where you're paying for something. You just literally hit the button and then you get notified whenever I post. But I totally get it if you don't want to. It's all cool. No hard feelings. Happy Saturday. It is the weekend right now. I am filming this video on the weekend because when else do I have time during the week? I don't. Kindergarten teachers, any teacher, we don't have time. No time. I'm representing my Bucks. Football officially starts tomorrow. Well, it started on Thursday, but tomorrow's Sunday, you know, the real day of football. And the Bucks play tomorrow. So I'm channeling the championship from 2020 when they won. Hopefully it'll bring some good vibes this year. Anyways, welcome to this video. It is a Q&A. I want to do a Q&A, number one, because I reached 1,000 subscribers and it was like one of my biggest goals. I've always, rant really quick and then we'll get started. I've always wanted to be like a YouTuber. I just like love watching YouTube. I think I learn genuinely so much from YouTube, whether it's watching like teaching videos, which I do love, and I just love watching other people. For some reason, I was like really into like the flight attendant vlogs for the longest time, and I applied to be a flight attendant like when I was in college for teaching. I don't know, so it was just some random things in my life, but I just love that. Also, my newest thing is, why am I even talking about this? My newest thing is watching, I don't even know her name, I'm so bad, but she works on a cruise ship and she takes you along that, and I love cruises, and I think it's really cool to see like how the workers do it, because you always wonder like, how does it work? Even with flight attendants, like how does it work? Do they stay, like where are they? So I know so much about flight attendants and I'm learning about cruise ship personnel, so it's really funny. Anyways, I have no idea why I even said that. I was talking about that because I'm so thankful that I hit 1,000 subscribers, but I just went off on a whole tangent. I'm so sorry. But anyways, bringing it back, yes, it's like always, I don't know, I just love watching YouTube. I started watching YouTube when I don't even know, when I was like so young, like the OG YouTuber days. And for me to hit 1,000 subscribers is like so wicked and like really, really cool for me. So thank you so much for all of you that are subscribing. I genuinely appreciate it, and I hope that you at least take or learn something from my teaching content and my lifestyle content. So we are going to jump right into the Q&A. I also want to say that I took some questions from the last video where I asked you to leave questions, and then also I went back because some of the questions that people have asked previously are such good questions, and they're just like in the comments and people probably don't look at those. So I wrote a couple of those down to answer too. The first question, this is a random question, but I actually got a couple of comments and questions about the lights in my room. I had bought like 2 lamps just off of Amazon, just like, actually that lamp right there, that is right there. I bought that one off Amazon just in white. I bought 2 of them and I put them in my classroom, and then I also have lights, string lights around my smartboard. And a lot of you were asking, does it actually light up the room? Like, how does it look? Because I don't like the big lights, you know? But I do keep all of the lights off except for those lights and the smartboard lights off in the morning. So when they come in, I'm playing my relaxing music. They are doing either morning tubs or some sort of ELA math review something, and it's like nice and quiet, so they don't come in screaming and yelling. I mean, they're kindergartners, they're so excited and they just love life, so they come in with so much energy. And while I love to embrace that energy, not in the morning time when they should be coming in quietly, and it's a time for me to be able to take attendance, check folders, like all the things. So it's overstimulating if they're too loud. So I think the lights really help. Now, I would not, especially on a gloomy day, I would not leave those lights off all day, because then I think the kids get tired, and maybe you want that, I don't know, but I don't want that. And I do think having light on is good for children. Obviously it's like makes your brain stimulated, I feel like. So I think that it just works in that way too, to have the lights on when you're teaching and like when they're doing actual learning. And it's also kind of dark in there, so I wouldn't leave those lights off. I don't turn on both of the big lights. I just turn on one light, and it's way more than enough, especially with the light coming in from the windows as well. We have a lot of windows in my classroom. So yeah, but I just wouldn't leave the big lights off all day long, because I think that can just like, even us, like I feel like that would just make me tired if those lights were off. Yes, it's calming, but also tiring. Another question I got a lot of during classroom setup was the furniture in my classroom, and a lot of you were saying like, oh my gosh, where did you get X, Y, and Z from? And especially a lot of you were asking about the chairs in my library, the little foldable chairs that kind of like flip up and down. And all of the furniture in my classroom, pretty much everything is from Lakeshore. All new stuff from Lakeshore, like the science center and the math centers, and it comes with all manipulatives, and like it's really, really cool. But I will say that as a kindergarten teacher coming into that, or as a first grade teacher coming into kindergarten, not really understanding what everything was meant for, I had to do a lot of researching on Lakeshore. And if I'm honest with you, I just use it how I saw fit. I'm not following the Lakeshore stuff really. The only one I'm following is the math center, because they fit, like there's math bins that fit specifically for that thing, for that like piece of furniture. So that's the only one that I really like focused on, because the other ones, like that was the only one that had to go there and made sense. So, but yeah, everything is from Lakeshore pretty much in that classroom, like the big furniture wise. We even got like new tables and stuff from Lakeshore. But again, after a while, when things start to break and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything, and it is very expensive. So I'm not about to go spend my own money. But yes, all of that stuff that you're seeing is from Lakeshore. Another question that I got was about my grad school. I talk a little bit about my grad school on here, and I am currently enrolled in graduate school. I'm actually going to GCU. That was another question of what school I was going to. I am enrolled in Grand Canyon University. It's a completely online school. Actually, they do have a campus in Arizona, but it's all pretty much online. And I know there's like a lot of like hate around those online schools, or like confusion, I guess, like, are you really learning? And my experience so far, I will just share really quick with you. Yes, it's an online school, and yes, I think prior to COVID, everybody was like, that doesn't make sense, like you should be learning in school. But since COVID, I think people now have more of an understanding about an online school. And I do want to say, always check with your state before you enroll. I had to check with my state of South Carolina to make sure that my credits would like transfer, and I would be able to get my licensure for whatever I'm enrolled in my state. So if you should check with your state. I'm pretty sure your advisor is able to tell you yes or no. Like I know mine told me, but I was still like, I'm not about to spend this amount of money and not be able to use it. So I made sure I checked with my Department of Education and everything like that. So it is approved. Everything is good with it. You have to submit like the classes that you're going to take on there. And again, your advisor will do it all for you. They'll write you a thing and you just literally have to submit it. Grand Canyon University has been so great so far. I truly am. I was just gonna say I was enjoying it. I don't know if I'm enjoying it because it's a lot of work, but I will say I'm learning a lot. And it's so funny when you see, I guess I should say, I am in school for administration. So educational administration is what I'm in school for. They have an admin program, and then they also have a leadership program. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think the leadership program leads to licensure, where the one I'm in, it does lead to licensure. So if you want to be in some sort of administrative role, you should definitely be in the admin program to lead to licensure. Again, but check with your people and make your decision on your life, not mine. But I will say they have been so wonderful, and everyone I've spoken to has been extremely helpful. They respond, whether it's a professor, if it's your advisor, anyone like that, your field coordinator, respond in like at least or at most a day, and they truly have been wonderful. And yeah, I'm in my 4th class right now. It is not self-paced. You do have like a weekly schedule, and each week you have to submit different things. So there's 6 weeks in a class, and it goes by so quickly. So you feel like you're getting, this is not sponsored, but you feel like you're getting like through the classes quickly, and you're feeling productive because they're only 6 weeks long, as opposed to other schools I looked at were 8 weeks. And the program I'm in is a year and a half, and we go all through the year. So we don't have any break over summer, which was good because I was able to get a decent amount of done. Even though I was traveling a lot this summer, you just get a little bit ahead and then you can just click submit whenever you're ready to submit your assignment. So everything is there. You can see everything. It's laid out for you for your whole course. And whenever you want to do it, you go right ahead, but there are due dates. So they have to be done by the due date. And then there's also like participation discussion posts that you have to do every week. So you can't really get ahead on those because you have to respond to people. But some professors, there's no real requirement as to what the response looks like, as long as it's substantial enough to count. Like you can't just write, great post, loved it, thank you. They're not going to give you credit for that. You have to have some sort of like, either you're asking them a question back or you're giving some sort of life experience to them, personal experience. So I've been loving Grand Canyon University. I think that, again, I'm only like, this is my 4th course. I think that they're really great. I will see how their internship experience goes. So at the end, the last 3 courses of this are internship courses. So essentially I'll be with a principal, normally it's your principal, and you'll have to submit assignments and do things with your principal, like things like that. So yeah, that is that pretty much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I just finished up I finished up my law class and then I took a finance class. You guys, if you guys are taking that finance class, reach out to me for help because the first assignment on there is extremely intimidating and you're like, what did I get myself into? But it is okay. If you're in that program, reach out for help because I just finished up that class. I'm willing to help if you need help. So always reach out, of course. Another question I got is New York or South Carolina teaching? If you don't know, I am actually from New York. I grew up in New York my whole life. We just moved to South Carolina last year, actually just a year ago. We moved to South Carolina and we had bought our house in January of last year. And we didn't move down until August. So we had our house just sitting here and we didn't officially live here until August. So it was after our wedding and then I immediately started teaching here because we start in August down here. And yeah, so there's a lot of differences between New York and South Carolina. And I will say that New York schools, Long Island schools, I can only vouch for Long Island schools. Long Island schools are, I think all of New York, are unionized. So if you're like, yeah, I know what a union is, I don't really understand the ins and outs though. A union school is essentially you have somebody from your union who is there to support the teachers. And I know South Carolina does have a teachers union, but it's not mandatory to join and it's nothing like New York union. And I did not join South Carolina union. But in New York, their union is mandatory. Your mandatory union dues get taken out. I'm pretty sure it's mandatory. I was never given an option. And essentially, I've had quite a few experiences with my school where, not like for me personally, but the whole school in general, where the union had to step in for something or like people would go to the union and tell them about like something, like a situation that was happening. And then the union would handle it with the school. And then lo and behold, the problem would be fixed. So I know there's a lot of things about unions. I will say the teachers union is extremely strong in New York and it benefited the teachers. So I'm just gonna say what it is. It really benefited us. I know probably administration wasn't a big fan, but yeah, it really benefited the teachers. And like I said, if there was a problem, you would go to the union or go to your union rep and they would go to the union for you and kind of work out that situation or explain why something's happening, or they'd go to the district and they'd complain or whatever, and they'd fix it. So yeah, in South Carolina, we do not have unions. You can join a union, but from my experience, I don't really know what they do. They say they do a lot. I'm sure they do. I'm not in it, so I have no idea. That is like a really, really big difference. You kind of are like vouching for yourself in South Carolina, and that's not a bad thing. because, you know, if you have a problem, you can go to your people. And not to say that you couldn't do that in New York, but if it was like a school-wide problem, then you could present it to your union. Whereas in South Carolina, it's just kind of like, or at least my school, my district, my experience, if you have an issue, like you can just go to your administrator and they could hopefully help solve it with you. It's just different, but it's nothing like good or bad, really. Another question was if I liked New York or South Carolina better, and just from personal experience, I do love my school here. And I think that I'm a good fit down here. I think I'm just meant to be in South Carolina. So I do really love it. And like I said, none of it is like good or bad. It's just is what it is essentially. So yeah. Another question that I got was how I display worksheets. I actually got this question because I said in one of my videos that I was waiting for my document camera to come, which document camera hooks up to your computer. And it's just a camera where you can put anything under it and it'll display on the smartboard. So you can put a piece of paper under it, like a worksheet that you're working on, and it will show up on the smartboard. And just like a projector. So I always use my document camera because I never understand, and please, I'm still trying to understand how people don't have document cameras. How on earth do you display anything without a document camera? Like, of course, if they're on the carpet and they're up close, no, I don't get it. No, I don't get it. Because if you're on the carpet, hear me out. If you are on the carpet and you have all of your kids around you and you're showing them, okay, little Johnny, we're gonna do this worksheet today, and you're holding up that worksheet and you're gonna put your name here and you're gonna do this, 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 and this, you're not modeling anything. That's not modeling. You're just telling them what to do. And I'm like, I need to be able to model. So if I'm gonna ask them to write their name on the paper, I have to write my name on the paper. I want them to see me write my name on the paper. Does that make sense? And maybe if you clip it on the board and then you can write it, but then are they really seeing it? Like, are they really getting the full experience? Whereas if it's on the big smartboard and they're on the carpet, they're able to look at the smartboard and see the worksheet and exactly everything that they need to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Please let me know, because I don't understand how. I guess you could also scan it and then display it on the smartboard, like the worksheet, but that seems like an extra step that is unnecessary if you have a document camera. Anyways, that's how I display work, and somebody had said to me, like, how does that work? And I just plug it up to my smartboard and it is like a little app that pops up and it just works. I don't know. It just works. It's electronic. It just works. So yeah, that is how I display my student work. And then the last question that I will chat with you guys about today is how I plan for the first day of school. I had so many intentions of filming a video like that, but the beginning of the year snuck up on me so quickly. I actually do have a video though that I did film. It's pre-classroom setup day 1, or pre-classroom setup part 1. It's a couple videos ago, and you can definitely go check that out. And I talked to you all about how I planned, and I actually walk you through my plans. But I will say I start off with the expectations that I want to teach that day. So it was definitely a lot different in kindergarten this year. If you don't know, I used to teach first grade, and this is my 4th year teaching, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So I used to teach first grade, and going down to kindergarten this year, I really had to focus on just a couple of expectations each day because I just know that it would be too much for them, and I'm glad that I did that. Whereas in first grade, they already have been to kindergarten, so they know how school works, and they know what they should be doing when they get in line. Of course, you have to go over that procedure and you practice and you walk up and down that hallway a million times. But it's a little bit easier to get your point across, like, okay, we're gonna get online now, and they know in their head what that should look like because they were already in school. Whereas kindergartners, you say, okay, we're gonna get online now, and they have absolutely no idea what that means because they barely even know what a line is. They don't understand that they have to be in a straight line. They can talk online, and you have to explain to them, like, no, we don't talk online. Whereas in first grade, they already know that expectation. You just have to set it in your classroom. but in kindergarten, they don't. They have genuinely no idea. They don't even know how to use scissors or glue sticks or hold a pencil. So these are all things that you have to teach them. And I tried to really, really focus on just a couple of expectations a day. Obviously, you talk about the other expectations as they come up, but I really just tried to focus and practice on a couple. Obviously, lining up in the hallway was a big one because we were going everywhere. You know, you're going to lunch, you're coming back from lunch, you're going to recess, you're coming back from recess. So you always have to get on the line and go somewhere. So that was a big one, obviously, that you really want to focus on. And then you kind of just plan activities in between or around those. Another one I did was crayons, because I didn't want them to start coloring if they didn't know how to use a crayon, or some of them have never colored before, believe it or not. So they are not familiar with these things, and if you tell them to color in the picture, they're doing this and they're like, okay, I'm done, and you're like, well, you didn't color in the lines. So these are all the things that you have to teach them and think about. So I introduced the crayon, how we coloring inside the lines, all of that stuff, and then we did a coloring activity with it. And I just want you to know, kindergarten takes forever to do anything, so double the amount of time that you think it's going to take because it takes them so much longer to do. And I don't know, they're just so cute. I love them. And then what were some other expectations? Obviously, recess expectations. You're gonna take them out for recess the first day. They need to understand how to do recess. Like, yes, you can go play, but here's how you're not gonna play. You're not gonna throw the wood chips. You don't have to even play in the wood chips. When you go down the slide, you're gonna go down the slide on your bottom. You're not gonna go down the slide facing backwards, and whatever the things are. Like, you're not gonna climb on the jungle gym all the way up to the thing. It doesn't matter, but those are the things that you have to explain to them and think about when you're planning, because yes, of course, you're going to say, okay, we're going to go out for recess, but they don't know like what that is. They don't understand recess. They've probably never even heard recess before. They probably only heard like park, you know, so all these little things. And then you just plan little activities around those. Always on the first day of school, I do first day jitters and I read the book. And then we make jitter juice and we do some sort of first day feeling activity on how you feel. So that is always number one thing I do and plan for on my first day of school. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that was the only activity, like full-on activity, that we got to on the first day of school this year. I'm trying to think of anything else. And of course, in kindergarten and primary, you always want to do like name stuff. I guess maybe not like second grade, but kindergarten and first grade definitely do like name activities. Chrysanthemum is a great story for a name activity, and just a lot of read alouds. Like, you just do a lot of read alouds, get them used to expectations, sitting on the carpet. And again, you just kind of plan all around that. But check out that video if you want to see more about that first day of school plan. But I pretty much tried to keep it similar, and of course you don't get to everything because I always overplan, and you just carry it over to the next day, and it is what it is. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video and were able to learn a little bit of something. And of course, I will always be doing Q&As in the future. And again, I just want to say thank you all so much for even just watching my videos, liking, commenting. So fun. I love chatting with everyone in the comments, and I have a few of you that always comment, and like, I feel like we have a bond, and I just love seeing all of your positive comments. You guys are all so sweet. But I really hope that you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to. Again, you don't have to, but it would be cool. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.